Hey, welcome back to the Shed Builds, and this is another episode on the GL500, and I'm gonna do a quick intro because there is a lot to cover. In previous videos you've seen me get the bike. I think as you can see I am back in the shed, and that's what I picked up. Get it up and running in its terrible shape. After that I totally stripped the bike, started work on the tank. Several parts I've already been doing. I set the frame off to get powder coated and did all sorts of like little maintenance stuff and just checking out what the state of the bike is, and then I totally stripped it. And that's basically where we're going to start this video. It's going to be building the bike back up, so I'm going to start off with the frame and go from there. Now it's going to be like a couple of moments that are going to be cringy and terrible, and those moments that I've got, you have to keep pushing on, and there's a couple of those in this video. Stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Everything is in the description. Patreon, membership, whatever pleases you. You don't have to, but also if you would, please give me a like and a subscribe. That's really helpful. All right, so let's dive into it. The first thing we're going to show you is the frame. So not only the frame, but also the engine. And here I'm putting the water pipe back on, and it came up really good. Don't know if you can remember how bad it was. Anyway, time to put the fan back on as well. I gave it a little tap, and then you can just screw it in with this bolt, and then it sits where it sits. Pretty straightforward, I think. And this is how the engine looked like. And now that shroud you see over there, I actually did something pretty cool with that. Now it comes with a heat resistant piece of rubber. This was actually torn a bit and I couldn't find a replacement, but I used these rivets. As you can see, this is how they work with this special plier. These rivets come in different sizes, so you have to get your hole according to the rivet, and there's in this plier there's different settings of course. So you stick it in and then it should work. It's really good for things like this, or like sheet metal or thin pieces, and it's pretty easy to use, not expensive, and yeah, a nice tool to have. Okay, they came out okay. So technically they're on the wrong side, but I couldn't do it the other way around because the holes of the leather were too big, they're worn out. But doing it the other way around works, and it keeps it in place. Now, is that shroud really necessary? I think there's a lot of discussion on it, but I don't think it really does. But to put it there, I still have it, so I might as well put it on. No harm done, right? Okay, that's nice. On the frame I already put the water bottle for the coolant, the mud guard, air filter and battery tray. So this is where the old bearings used to be, and the rings that need to go in here need to have a tight fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up this stem on both sides, and I've got the rings over there just behind that wall in the freezer. So this is going to be really warm, so the metal will expand, and I've got the other pieces in the freezer so they will contract. And then because of those two things, I should be able to get them in fairly easy, and then when everything cools down and gets into the same temperature, it's going to be a really tight fit, and then they will fit in here perfectly, and I can put these bearings in there, which I've already greased up, as you can see. And as soon as that's done, I can put this steering stem in, which has already been painted by yours truly. I still have to do some cleaning, I think, but we can put that in here, and as soon as that is done, this can go on top, which has already been painted, and I'm just going to put these temporary front forks in because the other ones are over here, and I want to replace the seals, but I haven't got the seals yet. So I'm just slowly heating up the stem. Let's get it nice and warm, and just use a torch. So as soon as the thing is hot, I got the ring, which was icy cold from the fridge, and then it's just a matter of tapping it in. far as you can go, nice and easy with the drift. And the steering stem or yoke can go in. It's always a bit fiddly when you're on your own, but the top yoke, I'm putting it on right here and it's done. It's looking pretty neat, all nice and painted. So next up, to get the frame standing up so I can mount the engine, is to get the center stand back on. Now it was a bit of a tight fit because of the powder coat. When you send a frame off to get powder coated, it's really important to close all the gaps. You don't want any paint in, and at certain parts I didn't quite do that correctly, but you can always kind of scrape it away. But I got it, and as you can see, the frame's now, at least at the back, standing, and it looks pretty great. I already put in the battery tray, as you saw, and next up is the swing arm, and this is the bolt that actually holds the swing arm in place. On the right side, it's like inside the seal, and this is the other side. There's also a seal back there which I replaced. And you just turn this in until it sits, and just feel that everything's okay, and it did. It was nicely where it should be, looking great. So the lock nut on top of that. So next was to put the swing arm in. It's really important to put that shaft that's in there first before you mount that swing arm. You can't do it the other way around. So next up, the drive shaft, and then the back end is done for now. So I got the seals in and I put those into the front shocks. First the seal, the ring to hold it in place, cleaned up the stanchion, of course a new dust cap on it, a new washer, then set this thing in, some fresh shock oil. In the manual it says how much. Now I'm pushing out as much air as I can. I put the cap back on with a new O-ring, and that's one done. Now I'm going to mount both the shocks with the brand new spanky second-hand ear holders thingies, and that's the front in place as well. Okay, so I loosely fitted the original shocks, so I replaced them with all the different parts and bits and pieces. So these are going to stay, got new seals in there, new dust caps, new oil, so they should be fine. I've got these, which are replacement parts, so they replace the really crusty ones that were there. Not sure if I'm going to keep these lights on here, but I'm kind of working on it. Now this steering wheel is not the one that came with the bike. The one with the bike was, so this is more the type of handlebars that came with the bike, but I'm not going for that. I'm just going to kind of change everything, and I'm going to go for this one. So a bit lower and a bit wider ish. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. So I can now build up the front, and I've got enough here now to start thinking about putting the engine back in. So the ignition thingy is in, fuses are in, new fuses, clean it all out, and I've got a special thing coming for this. It'll take a while, but that's going to be really cool, I think. So I've got these cool stickers on the side. This number is special for me, number 36. The surface has to be nice and clean, so make sure it's not greasy or anything, and then they are quite easily to apply. I got these from 10stickers.nl, and I think they came out really, really nice. So that's really cool about this engine. The Cx500, GL500 are all the same. They're really well balanced when they sit on these lifts. So they're really, really easy to get out. So just have to do a couple of bolts and then the thing drops down because there's no frame underneath, so it hangs on the frame instead of it sitting on the frame. And as you can see, it's perfectly well balanced, so these engines are easy to get out. So I'm putting back the engine in the frame, which is really cool, of course. As you can see, I've already done the wiring harness, and it's very important to have that routed correctly. Also the wires for the carb and stuff like that. Just make sure everything lines up, and using that lift is just very easy to use. Let's get this engine in. Yesterday I did all these pipings. I did the protection springs here. I don't know what they are. Gave them I got once over, and they look pretty good actually. Same as these really corroded. They will corrode again, but they are 10 euros each. So I thought this is going to be a cinch, but actually, to be totally honest, I really struggled getting the engine back in. It took me half a day of wiggling and pushing, and I don't know why it went so difficult. And yeah, it wouldn't fit correctly. It still doesn't really fit perfectly, but of course all the bolts are in and it's fine. But the radiator seems to be a bit high, but it's something for later. For now, the engine's in, and let's continue. So today this parcel came in, finally. It takes a long while to get something from Norway over here to Holland, but this came from my YouTube friend Kjell. You can know him as a KIHestads. He's got a real cool channel, and he's actually made something for me. So if you want to check out that video, what he did, I'll put a link in the description, of course, and then you can check out that video. But this is, I think, a couple of weeks after he made that video. I think it took almost 2 weeks to get here via mail, and I'm gonna unwrap it now and see what it actually looks like, because I've seen it on video, of course. And this is gonna go on the orange bike, unless it's really good, really good, and I think it is, and I might just keep it on my own bike, but we'll see. Ooh, this is what he was talking about. So I sent some licorice over there, just as a present.
This is the part. Let's take a look at that a bit later. Now, of course, the candy is the first priority here. Old-timers. Oh, what the f...
And he gave me this skipper. Let's have a try. That's nice. Good stuff. You know I'm Dutch, so I'm a sucker for licorice. Cheers. Very nice. Now, I think this is the 3D printed one, and this is the original one. No, this is 3D print. Show you the original one first. So this is the original part I sent to him, and I really wanted to get Dutched over here, Dutch shed bills. So I'll ask him to make that for me. Oh, that's really great. That is really cool. Look at that. So cool. That came out really good. Wow. That's a perfect fit. So he did, like, I think 4 versions maybe of this before he got to this one, and it looks really great. He also said I need to deburr the sides, so I'm going to get that tool to do that. And I don't know if I need to sand this. I guess I'll be in touch with him, but that looks really good, so thank you for that. Okay, so in the previous video you've already seen me start working on the tank. Now a lot of things have happened to that tank, so I'm gonna fast forward it to the point where I got the paint on the tank. It was all done and ready. It looked beautiful. As you can see here in this video, it looks great, and I did everything. I did priming, I did some dent removal, I did clean out the inside with the vinegar and stuff, which I always do. Got a primer coat, silver coat, candy gold, couple of layers, clear coat. The thing looks beautiful. And then this happened. So I'm working on the tank again after the paint job, and as you can see, this is the fuel that came out. I kind of rinsed it out, and it's really orange, as you can see. It's not really good, so there's still quite a lot of rust in there. So I filled it with vinegar, let it sit, shake it around a lot, and just trying to get the last pieces of rust out. And I think it came up pretty good. Check it out. So that is a lot better than what it was this morning. I can't see any rust now. Yeah, it looks a lot better. So the tank is all cleaned up, rinsed it out, dried it out. It's got treatment with the salt, so I'm just going to put in some fuel, see if the tap holds, and then kind of go from there. I've added a fuel filter over here as well. I had that left over, just to be safe. So we're going to go through these 4 parts where they can leak, and but I think it should be fine. I just want to get this tank filled up with fuel before the rust starts again. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my God, no.
What's happening? Oh, shit. It's not fuel resistant. Ruined. Fuck. Now, I don't know if the video shows it, but I dropped some fuel from the filling of the cap over the tank. I thought, oh well, I'll just clean it out. As soon as I put the piece of paper on it, it completely sucked up the paper. So even though this was sold as paint for a moped, something that has fuel in it, this paint is not able to handle fuel. Well, I couldn't sit sulking about it, and I just got painting again. I had to buy another can of spray paint.
Oh, that's tooth fairy money down the drain.
So I had to redo the paint on this tank again. Now, as you can see, I was able to get it back fairly good. I'm going to do a really proper clear coat this time. That's this stuff. So that's a pretty big bottle, so I'm kind of wasting it, which is a shame, but this is a 2K clear coat. This is going to stop the fuel for sure. And hopefully I won't have the problem again, but this cost me at least 3 days to fix. So let's get this on and see how it holds up. This is going to be pretty good stuff, and this can hold the fuel really easily, so I should be fine now. Yeah, the only thing is, I saw that on this side for some reason there's that. So why that is there, I don't know, but these tanks, man, what the hell. Remember I said there was like a small speck on the tank? I thought it was like because I hit something. Actually, it's fuel coming through. There's a tiny hole. I don't even know where it is, but that's why this paint is fading and going away. The fuel is getting straight through. Fuel gets through anything, even more than water. So clearly the weld I did over here hasn't held up.
Nope. Flash dance, Dave. She's a welder, isn't she?
And I've ended up with this. So here's the damage, and I think there's a pinhole here. Might even be one there as well. So I'm just gonna sand this smooth and then figure out what to do, because I haven't got any more paint. some gas. Stop recording. Kaboom! Alright. I was very lucky. I was doing the fuel tank. I filled it up with water completely. Over the top, flowing, draining it out with water. Thinking the fuel was gone. Somehow, this happened. Look at it. Totally ruined. That was scary. So as you can see, it doesn't fit anymore. It's completely expanded. Bloody hell. What a shame. But I already had a scratch here, and of course this was where the pinhole was, so I had to fix that as well. But now the tank is ruined, so this is gonna be a reminder. Oh, god damn it. So I guess I'm looking for a new tank somewhere, somehow. Never a dull moment. So of course I did all the parts of the bike. It completely got stripped, everything was taken off, and everything was crusty. Everything was totally gone, and I had to replace it. Now I could show you all the parts that I did in detail, but I think that's going to be a bit too much. So I'm just going to do a quick roll down of all the different parts that I've done, and I'll show you the end result at the end. So I forgot about these two parts. They came from the old seat, and they need to be put over here and here. And just to show you what the bike was, the state it was in, the back looked the same. So I'd say that's a major upgrade. All primed and ready. Here, so now you can see what the inside looks like. I'm going to clean this, give this a bit of a paint job, and then we can put that back. After about 10 minutes, that looks like a brand new part. I'm going to give it a bit of paint job on the outside, of course, and then that's ready to go back on the wheel. So nice and black, and this is what I've been doing like for a couple of last weeks, painting all these little parts, restoring them, and then kind of piecing it back together. Parts. So I'm a few hours later, and this is how it turned out. Nice and shiny. 3 coats of black, 2 coats of clear, and 2 coats of primer. And it's ready to go back on the bike. So it looks a lot better. There is the finished product. Alright, so this is the second time I've sanded down the primer, and now things are looking nice and smooth. A lot better than what I did with the GL500. I did these dash things the same way, or not the same way, a different way, and they ended up showing all sorts of scratches and stuff. So I've kind of got 2 primers on here now, which I sanded down with really fine grit waterproof paper, And now I'm going to put a black coat on this, and that should be a lot better. If you want to see that video on the GL500 where I did those dash, then there's a link, I think up here probably, or maybe there, but I think here, where you can see what I did with those. And that's basically what I've done with these, but this is the better version. So that's the old, and that's the new, and that's only the first coat. So you can actually see my reflection in this one, and it's only the first coat. So I think it's improving. Let's get this one done as well. So all this white stuff, as you can see on the lens, I think it's on the inside. Now I've done thinner on this. I've done a aluminum foil to see if it comes out. Sorry, my phone's back. But there is no difference. So I think it's on the other side of the lens, which means I have to take the lens out. So I have to tap this entire edge open all the way around, and I should be able to lift up this entire clock and get to the lens. Alright, so I've got it opened. As you can see, and I am correct that all the chips are on the inside, so I think they're coming from that little lever over there. So I'm going to get some compressed air and then blow this out and then put it back together, I think. Sorry, my camera is freaking out. Alright, that's better. So I completely opened up this little lip over here, all the way around, biting away, bending that metal. I still have to work on these parts, I see, but that's how you flip out the gauges, and then you have to tap everything back into work. It took me half an hour to do this, but I'm getting there. Just do this small part. So I'm just going to stick this in my blaster cabinet, see if I can get rust out. It just doesn't look very nice. There we go. Let's see what it does. Gloves in. Close it. That's a lot better. Before. After. So still doing some work on the dash. Now I need to replace these, I had these temporary rubbers installed, like makeshift stuff, but I got new Honda ones. I still don't get this red light over here, so I think it's oil pressure switch, so it doesn't come on at any point, so I'm not really sure how that works. And I think the lights inside of this thing aren't working either, so I need to check that also. So I'll maybe just take off the entire set to check everything. So we've covered quite a lot of stuff in this video, and we're almost at like 30 minutes, so I have to stop the video here. It's getting too long and there's still so much to show you. So sorry, another episode is going to come up, or sorry, maybe that's even nice, because I've got a lot of stuff to show you. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen so far. The bike is coming along really nicely, but it's a lot of work. This is a complete rebuild, but so far things are looking up, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see some more, check out these videos. I know you're going to like these, and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye bye.